You ask me this a lot, but I wanted to start our day off and the rest of our lives together with telling you the reasons why I love you. But it is really hard because each time I think of reasons, whether you've asked me or not, I always add more. It would be easier to ask me what I don't love about you, to be honest. But I love you, Lewis, because I don't think I've ever laughed more with anyone else. Don't get me wrong, sometimes you definitely aren't funny, but I can always count on you to put a smile on my face. And I love you because you are always there to cheer me on, to push me to make my dreams happen, comfort me when it all goes wrong. Even if you do try and fix the unfixable, you're there. I may not say it enough, in fact I know I don't, but I appreciate all of that so much. I love you because you have always put us first in everything you've done from the very beginning. I love you because you know exactly what I'm thinking, even better than I do sometimes. And when you finish my sentences or come up with the same thought as I was having at that exact moment, this has happened too often for it to be a coincidence. I love you because you're honest. No matter what, I know what you are telling me is the absolute truth and exactly what you think. And although I may not want to hear it in that moment sometimes, I know I wouldn't want to hear anything else. And I love you because of you. Everything, for every reason, is why I love you, even the annoying habits, in fact. I love you in spite of those. For the last few weeks, you've asked me why I'm not outwardly nervous or excited about today. And it's true, I have been really calm. Even this morning, obviously writing this I didn't know, and I realise I may be a quivering wreck in this moment, but I'm not. I've been very good this morning. And that's because I really don't feel nervous at all. As long as you were there, standing next to me, I know I will be fine. That's all I need, you with me, no matter what. A team like we have always been. And for the rest of my life, I will try and make you realise that that is all each other needs. My missing piece. I promise that I will always be your biggest cheerleader, always in your corner. I promise to be your best friend, as well as your wife, to have fun and enjoy each other every day. I promise to remember the love I feel for you on this day, and to love you always. If I could relive any moment of us so far, I think I really would go back to that first date. I was so nervous. I remember walking to the car, feeling nauseous from the butterflies and feeling like I couldn't breathe. So I basically held that inward breath the whole way, walked from my house to the car. And that moment I opened the door, sat down and turned to face you, met with a nervous yet comforting and familiar smile. I just exhaled, a different person to the one I knew as Lewis's, Josh's friend, but a familiar one all at the same time. Relief, a little uncertain and surprised, but definitely a buzz of excitement. You changed for me then, forever. If I see that smile opposite me today, I know I will be okay, and we are going to have the best day. You was my person from that moment until now, and my person always.
At some point, you decided to marry. From that moment of yes to this moment of yes, indeed, you have been making commitments in an informal way. All of those conversations that were held in a car or over a meal or during long walks, all of those conversations that began with when we're married and continued with I will and you will and we will, all of those late night talks that included someday and somehow and maybe, and all of those promises that are unspoken matters of the heart. All of these common things and more are the real process of a wedding. The symbolic vows that you are about to make are a way of saying to one another, you know all of those things that we promised and hoped and dreamed. Well, I meant it, every word.
Look at one another and remember this moment in time. Before this moment, you have been so many things to one another: acquaintance, friend, companion, lover, dancing partner, even teacher. For you have learned so much from one another these past few years. Surely you shall say a few words that will take you across a threshold of life, and things between you will never quite be the same. For after today, you shall say to the world, this is my husband, this is my wife.
The dreams that me and Hollie shared with each other often revolved around wanting to make a difference. And Hollie wanted to save the animals and me the humans. And it's always been a privilege to watch those dreams become a reality for Hollie. And I'm able to boast that my best friend can train lions and bears. However, seeing these dreams come to fruition has been a true demonstration of Hollie's best characteristics, how hardworking, determined and compassionate she is. Now, I can't wait to see these dreams grow into even more than what we discussed as teenage girls. Life is not a rehearsal, and this is something I've seen Hollie live her life by, putting everything into everything she does, saying yes to all opportunities and being present in the moment. And I know this way of living will allow for a happy and successful marriage between Hollie and Lewis, and making the most of every day together. Lewis is the type of partner you hope your friend would find. He lets Hollie shine and even encourages it. And he's now supporting Hollie in making sure she just achieves all them dreams we discussed them years ago. Seeing Hollie and Lewis together has been an honour. Seeing how they've grown and pushed each other, but most importantly how they've made each other laugh and smile. I am confident in thinking this marriage will last for the time, and I have never seen Hollie as happy as she is now.
On behalf of Lewis and Hollie, I'd like to welcome you all to Crown Lodge. You've all been invited here to celebrate with Lewis and Hollie, to witness their marriage and the promises they will make to one another. Marriage is a commitment to life in which people can find and bring out the best in each other. When two people promise to love and care for each other in marriage, they create a union unique to themselves, which binds them closer than any spoken or written word. Lewis, do you take Hollie to be your wife? Do you promise to love and care for her always?
I do.
Good answer. Hollie, do you take Lewis to be your husband? Do you promise to love and care for him always? I, Lewis John Macaulay Jones.
I, Lewis John Macaulay Jones.
Take you.
Take you.
Hollie Mary Catherine Wetherill.
Hollie Mary Catherine Wetherill.
To be my wedded wife.
To be my wedded wife.
Hollie, will you say to Lewis? I, Hollie Mary Catherine Wetherill.
I, Hollie Mary Catherine Wetherill.
Take you.
Take you.
Lewis John Macaulay Jones.
Lewis John Macaulay Jones.
To be my wedded husband.
To be my wedded husband.
Now, Lewis and Hollie, you've given all your marriage vows and your promises to each other, and in front of everyone here, and now it's my great pleasure to announce that you are now married. You may kiss your bride. You may kiss your bride.
I remember when I proposed to Hollie, she was very surprised that I asked her to marry me. Not because she doubted how much I loved her, but because I'd stressed to her many times before how important I considered marriage vows to be. She was so shocked, in fact. Then when I got on one knee and I asked her, "Will you marry me?" As I waited, looking up at her, hoping for the answer to be yes, she looked down at me, looked into my eyes and said, "What are you doing?" Not the first words I had hoped for, but she quickly said yes. One of our many dates to the Natural History Museum in London. There were lecturers, there was a movie theatre, and of course there was a comedy act. He starts his slideshow asking the audience if they can name the animals shown. The first was easy, yes, orangutan. Second, panda. And then the third appeared. And the man said to the audience, "I bet you don't know what this animal is." In less than a second, Hollie turned to me and whispered, well, in her attempt to whisper, we all know she's far from quiet. And she whispered to me, "That's a Selenodon." Does anyone know what a Selenodon is?
They're really cool.
Not even the table full of zookeepers show a hand.
Come on, guys.
So to you and I, Selenodon is just a rat, but of course to Hollie she could distinguish between them. And as I say, Hollie isn't quiet, so the comedian of course heard her whisper, looked out into the audience in amazement and asked, "Who said that?" Looked at Hollie And he said, "I performed this introduction hundreds of times, and nobody has ever been able to say what that animal is." He stood over Hollie in front of the whole audience, and the next thing he said, you remember what he said, don't you?
Will you marry me?
So I'm not the first person to propose to Hollie.
Lewis, I have found to have a soft nature, a lot of patience, and with his love of animals, he is the perfect match for Hollie, and we are proud to have him, or I am proud to have him as a son-in-law. And Hollie, we have been proud of what you have achieved so far in your life, and we, your mum and dad, along with everybody in this room, wish you and Lewis the happiness you both deserve for your future.
So when the good-looking, young, funny charity owner proposed to Hollie, as quick as she was to recognise what a Celinodon is, she pulled me closer, held my hand, and said to the comedian and the whole audience without hesitation, "This is my boyfriend." And I couldn't be more proud to stand before all of our family and friends, to hold Hollie's hand and to say, "This is now my wife."
So we asked Hollie who she thought Lewis would pick if he could have a pass to sleep with any celebrity in the world. So Lewis really sweated over this one. After about 2 minutes of deep thought and internal debate, he gave us an answer that none of us were expecting. I see what your mind's thinking now, who could it be? You won't get it. So he said to us, "There's someone that's always been at the top of my mind throughout the years." And we were like, "Well, who's that?" He went, probably Arnold Schwarzenegger." What? He could have all the women in the world and he's picked a 75-year-old bodybuilder. Unbelievable.
There are many reasons why I'm grateful for you and all that you do for me. I'm incredibly proud of you and all that you've achieved. You're intelligent, you're funny, you're now a successful businesswoman, you're good looking, and you're a complete catch. You've taught me many things and truly make me a better person. Where I can be regimental, you remind me to be more relaxed. When I could be opinionated, you teach me to be a better listener. Perhaps the most important lesson of them all is teaching me to understand that my rationality and my logic isn't always the right approach. And you've taught and patiently continue to teach me to be more appreciative of emotions. Today will be full of emotions. I'll be nervous to see you walking down the aisle. We'll be joyful and have fun with all of our family and friends. We will laugh at jokes along the way. We'll also be relieved to not have to spray the place card animals for the 100th time. We may even be frustrated if something doesn't go according to plan. But despite whatever happens today, the only emotion that matters to me on our wedding day is love. The love we have for each other and the promises and vows we all make. While this may be a new chapter for us as husband and wife, this is still very much the beginning of our lives together. I couldn't possibly picture spending the rest of my days with anyone but you besides me, supporting each other along the way. I promise to remind you every day that I love you, not just in words, but in my actions too. To always be there for you, to always call you Pickles even though you hate it, to always look after you, and to always care for you. Thank you for everything you do for me. I cannot wait to marry you and start our next chapter as husband and wife.